Hello, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be having a look at a very meta team that I used to climb a lot of elo in the Halloween Cup. So I'm going to be using Mandibuzz, Azumarill, and this one is not Excel because I'm not a grinder, so I don't have much Stardust, Candy, or Candy XL for battling. So in the first match we see a great lead into Golurk, and next we see a Carbink safe swap. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry trainer. You're getting absolutely RPS right now. The only thing that could possibly beat us in the back would be something that beats both Azumarill and Mandibuzz. Like a Morpeko with very good baits, they could win that matchup. So opponent is going to continuously fire off these rock slides. They're doing absolutely nothing to Clodsire. I'm going to overfarm to 100 energy, and then now I'm going to fire off the Stone Edge. Now I'm going to undercharge it so I get a little bit of energy. And because of this, I will be able to make 2 Earthquakes against Golurk. I'm going to fire off the first one, and now the opponent is going to shield up the Earthquake. And look at this, the opponent goes for the farm down, but we are barely able to make it to the Earthquake, and now the opponent is just going to let that through. It almost KOs, and the opponent sends in Fortress. This is really bad. Fortress does beat both Azumarill and Mandibuzz, but I go for the Dark Pulse straight away. We're able to get it before the debuff, which is great. Opponent is going to go for the Rock Tomb, and surprisingly they did let their Dark Pulse through. If they Rock Tomb then shielded it up, then that would have made more sense, as now they are going to take not debuffed Dark Pulses. The opponent lets it through. I think they could have had a chance if they shielded that first one, and oh no, that's really bad. We see a Toxapex lead. I safe switch into Clodsire, and we're answered by Greninja. Sorry, I don't think this match is sped up. That's fine, makes it easier for my job. Opponent is going to go for the Hydro Cannon, and we are getting RPS in this match. I'm going to try fight my way out of it by going for the Stone Edge. Opponent does realize it's just a Stone Edge and they let it through. That's even worse. The opponent is going to fire off their own energy, and this is going to easily KO the Clodsire. Now unfortunately, if they don't have something that's completely core broken by us in the back, then I don't think we have much chance to win this game. I send in Azumarill. Opponent is going to fire off their Hydro Cannon, but we should be able to get the farm down after this one. Hydro Cannon does do some fairly respectable damage, but we're able to get a full bubble down. Opponent's gonna send back in the Toxapex, so I'm gonna immediately switch into Mandibuzz, and it's a Wigglytuff in the back. There's no way we could have won that game, so GG's to that opponent. In the next match, we see another great lead into Golurk. This time the opponent is gonna stay in and immediately fire off their Shadow Punch. It does do quite a bit of damage, but I'm just going to let it through as we can still win this matchup. Opponent's going to send in Wigglytuff. And I think I make a bit of a mistake here going for the play rough. I think it might have been a better idea just keeping the energy. I'm going to store back some energy and send in Clodsire. Now Clodsire is going to be hit with an Icy Wind, so I did make a few misplays here, unfortunately. But Icy Wind gonna debuff us. I thought about going for a farm down, but I thought that would be a bit too ambitious. So I'm going to overfarm by a lot. And even though that wasn't on good timing, it's fine as it was on 100 energy almost. Opponent is going to send back in Golurk, and we will be able to make it to the Earthquake. So I am going to throw in 4 Poison Stings and a 2-turn into a 3-turn move. That is the correct timing, and oh no. This may have been the one Pokemon that we lose to. It's a Charmer in the back. Mandibuzz is absolutely helpless against Charmers. But let's see. I think Clodsire has the Stone Edge. Do we make it to 2 Aerial Aces? Opponent is going to shield the first. We make it to the second on pretty much 1 HP and a Dream. And the opponent is going to shield it up. And can we make it to the move? Yes, we can. We have the Stone Edge. And Stone Edge is going to KO the Gramble from this range. And we're able to win with 2 shields and 1 health. In the next match, we see a decent lead into Toxicroak. It looks like they are on that counter moveset, so they did switch out of that matchup. If they're on Poison Jab, that would be a winning matchup for them in the 2 shield, but they switch into Venusaur, and that's going to be answered by Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz really destroys Venusaur. I'm not sure why they went for the Frenzy Plant there. They're going to fire off another move, and it's a Sludge Bomb. I'm not sure what they were doing there. I'm going to overfarm Throw 3, which is proper timing. 1, 3, 5, or 7 for 3 moves into 2 turns. Is that what you want to do? And they send in Pinsir. Okay. Wow. They are triple weak to Mandibuzz. This is a very spicy team though. Shiny Shadow Pinsir. That's very, very cool. We are able to make it to the Aerial Ace, and I don't think there's any way for this trainer to win the game. I'm going to send in Azumarill, but it doesn't even make the move, as they concede the match, and that's a GG's. In the next match, we see a bit of a boring mirror match into another Azumarill. I'm going to just overfarm a bit. Opponent is going to throw straight away, and there's not really any reason to shield this. Sometimes I do like shielding the first one, just in case they beat me with an Ice Beam when a Play Rough would KO. I'm going to overfarm and fire off my own Play Rough. Now, since my Azumarill is non-excelled, it does take more damage from Play Rough. But it does mean we do win CMP ties, which means we can win the mirror, which is very, very nice. I'm going to overfarm once more and go for the Play Rough. Play Rough is not going to carry from this range, as we see from the damage on ourselves. But as you can see, we do win CMP, but the bubbles are doing more to us than to them. Opponent does let that through, and we do win switch, but the opponent sends in Morpeko. Morpeko is a big issue Pokemon, and unfortunately, I really thought we would be able to make it to the Ice Beam, but we're not able to, and this is really scary. Morpeko, despite it being an electric type into a ground type, can win the 2s if it's played well. I think about it, and I decide to shoot it, as I think it's going to be the Aura Wheel, but the opponent baits with the Psychic Fangs, and we're debuffed, and now their attack is raised, so this is really bad. I'm going to let the Aura Wheel Psychic Fangs through, and they switch back into Hangry mode. I'm going to go for the Stone Edge. The opponent's definitely going to shield this, and it's looking like Morpeko might be primed to sweep this game. I'm going to shield up these Psychic Fangs, and it turns out it is the Psychic Fangs that would have easily KO'd, and I'm going to go for the Stone Edge. Opponent is just going to shield this up again, and now I'm going to keep overfarming and catch the Psychic Fangs onto Mandibuzz. Psychic Fangs is double resisted here, and the opponent is going to stay in here for a little bit and send in Fortress. Now this is looking like a pretty doomed game. Let's see if we can come back out of it. I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse, and Dark Pulse is going to do some decent damage, and it turns out the opponent is at the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb is going to be super effective damage and lower our attack, and now I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse is not going to do much after the debuff, and I'm going to do some damage and switch into Clodsire. Let's see. It does KO, and we're able to Poison Sting them down to low health, but the opponent makes a move. That's really unfortunate. Now, I'm going to send in Mandibuzz, and the timer comes up, and we're able to make it to the Aerial Ace. Does it come up before the move finish? It doesn't, and we're able to win on 1 HP and 1 second left. In the next match, we see another mirror match into Azu. I'm just going to keep over farming like last time. This opponent throws 1 extra just to make sure we don't catch, but I think throwing 1 extra might make it easier to catch, especially if you do that multiple times. I'm going to go for the Play Rough. Play Rough's going to do some decent damage and go straight for the second one. Play Rough from an Azu doesn't hit really hard into another one, and the opponent actually going to switch into Drapion. My thinking here, I'm going to be able to make it to a move. This is just an Aqua Tail or Crunch. I can easily survive it, right? Nope, it's a Sludge Bomb. Now most people find Crunch essential, so they're going to be running Sludge Bomb and Crunch, right? Well, I'm wrong. They're running Sludge Bomb and Aqua Tail, which means a Drapion like this completely core breaks our whole team. But it is a very different move moveset to what I normally see. I'm going to go for the Earthquake. The opponent actually just no-shields that. That's definitely not what I was expecting. And there's a Golurk at the back, so this is looking like a pretty good game. I'm going to send in Mandibuzz aggressively, and the opponent's going to respond back with Azumarill. Now the opponent is going to want to protect their Azumarill as they can get some very, very valuable damage onto our Mandibuzz. I'm still sort of scared of a Dynamic Punch, so I'm just going to let it through, hoping it was an Ice Beam, but unfortunately it's not. Now, here's a really easy win con. We can easily make it to the Dark Pulse, and that's going to be a GG's. Dark Pulse will easily KO the Golurk after we go through the shield, and oh yes, okay. I'm going to go and make them force them to throw the energy, and this will be a GG's as we're going to be able to go for the Dark Pulse on the CMP tie, but we can easily just shield it up and KO. Shadow Punch is not going to KO through the shield as we have a lot more than 1 health remaining, and Dark Pulse is going to grab the KO. GG's. In the next match, we see the Dream lead into Greninja, but the opponent's just going to stay in here for a bit. They send in their own Azumarill, and I'm going to answer with Clodsire. Now, Azumarill can be a little bit tricky for this team in the 2-shield scenarios, as they do beat us, I think, Clodsire in the 2-shield. But let's see. I'm going to overfarm to around 99 energy. I think that was 11 Poison Stings, so yep, 99 energy, and I'm going to go for the Earthquake. Our opponent's gonna go for the Ice Beam, and I kind of need Switch here. But unfortunately, I do think, I throw an alignment. That makes it even worse. That's really not good. I was afraid of going over 100. I'm gonna go for the Stone Edge. Opponent does shield that up, and luckily we are able to make it to another Stone Edge. Stone Edge does grab a shield, and the opponent actually switches out. I thought they switched into the Greninja, but they actually switched into Clodsire, so this is not looking as good as it used to be. I'm going to go for the Ice Beam, but luckily we do have a shield advantage, so this is actually okay, as I can easily shield up the Earthquake, as that would do more than Greninja Hydro Cannons, and I'm going to overfarm through on 3, which is good timing, and go for the Ice Beam. Ice Beam does KO from this range, and the opponent is going to send in their own Azumarill. They're going to go for the Play Rough, but Play Rough won't do too much damage, and we'll still be able to easily survive another Hydro Cannon, and I'm just going to send in Mandibuzz to tank any energy that the opponent may have. Mandibuzz, pretty hopeless into this whole team, as it has a bad matchup into all of its members, but I'm able to KO the Azumarill with an Aerial Ice, and as they send in back in Greninja, they're going to go for the move, and this is not going to KO. So unfortunately, they might be able to get a farm down. But luckily, I realize that, and I throw one more to try to coax them into throwing the energy, which is great, as they're definitely not making a move now against their Azumarill, and we're able to get the Play Rough, which will easily KO the very glassy Greninja, and that's a GG's. Thank you for watching.